Okay, so last thing that we did, the last video, I did it from my book, the book which I followed last year. But as I can see that you are following a new book, so I'll start again. Not that those information are not necessary; those information also you will get at the end of this chapter. So first thing here we will discuss about history of internet. So how did internet means evolved? How it started? This history of internet is not actually that much important, but just for your knowledge, let's see. So history of internet, you can see in the year 1962, networking concept started actually in MIT, and the computer which was used and the research program that was used, it was known as the DARPA, DARPA, that is Defense Advanced Research Project Agency in 1962. Then a few modifications were done and it was later known as ARPANET in the year 1969. So ARPANET actually started with 3 computers in California and 1 in Utah. Utah is, I think, it's in the side of North America. I'm not sure. Then these 3 computers were connected, and these 3 computers were actually in some universities. So these universities, they connected each other through ARPANET, and that very following year they also started some protocols that are rules, few set of rules for exchanging information through computer. So in the year 1972 again, this ARPANET was developed and slowly it was available for public. So this technology, that new network technology, public started using it, and also in 1972 electronic mail was started. Since then email, you can say email has been a part of our daily life. So if you see, ARPANET actually somehow looked like this, and it was in the year 1969. This is how ARPANET was looked. And if you want to see the logic behind, means what were the logics actually used while designing, so the logic map actually look like this, and this is just for your knowledge. If somebody study computer in higher like in colleges, okay, so like MSc in computer science or BSc in computer science, you will get such type of maps, how computer networks work or how computer actually connect with each other. Such type of maps you will get. So in India, so when did network or when did internet started in India? So in India actually it started in 15 August 1995 by VSNL, that is Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, not BSNL, this is VSNL. And it also used a gateway called GIAS, that is Gateway Internet Access Service. So as of now you can see that how internet is available in everyone's house. We can communicate just by staying at home. We can do online classes, right? Guess what would happen if there was no internet? You would have not been able to do online classes. Someone might be feeling happy that yeah, if there was no internet, at least we could have stayed at home without doing classes and all. Yeah, but now, so since this internet is available, you have to do these classes, right? Okay, so next is who governs the internet. Now there should be some organization who monitors this internet, they govern this internet. Just by having an internet connection, you are connected to all the networks available in the world, but still there are some organizations who governs this internet. So if we see, first of all, what are these organizations? First we will see W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. It develops a standard for the evolution of web. As of 11 July 2020, the World Wide Consortium has 423 members, total 423 members became part of these organizations. And what they did, they discuss different standards, how policies can be made, how different standards are made to govern this internet. Next, IETF, that is Internet Engineering Task Force. IETF It started in January 16, 1986, and it develops and maintains internet communication protocol. So how communication is done from one computer to another, there are certain set of rules. So this set of rules are actually designed by IETF. How information, well, we are just saying and we are just sending some messages from one computer or one mobile phone to another mobile phone, but it is not that simple, because at the background these messages are actually broken into small packages, you can say. Then they are delivered again. If somehow sometimes you will see that the messages are not delivered instantly. So how then what happened, the sender again means from the mobile phone or the computer, signal is sent that that the message is, whatever message was sent, it was not delivered, and delivery report have not been received by the receiver. So this system, this background system, all it is designed by IETF. Next, Internet Architecture Board, IAB. It is a technological advisory group of Internet Society, and is chartered to provide oversight of architecture of Internet, its protocol and resources. The IAB supervises the Internet Engineering Task Force. So above IETF, we can say that IAB, that is this Internet Architecture Board, is there. So they just by the name you can remember this architecture, that is how routers, then switch and hubs, different type of devices are there which are used to connect internet all over the world. So these devices, how they are connected, how they are working, means every technical things are governed by this Internet Architecture Board. And ICANN, that is ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. So every internet computer, means network, either it is your phone or my phone, there is some unique identified number, or you can say it is also known as IP address, that is Internet Protocol. So these IP addresses are unique for every computer, for every network. These unique addresses and names, like www.google.com, this is a domain name. So these domain names are always unique. You won't find another google.com. So these names and numbers are actually managed by ICANN. Okay. Then internet infrastructures. There are some infrastructures of internet. First is protocol. So protocol, you can say it's a set of rules used by computer to communicate with each other. Suppose I have a protocol, let's say a number is there, then again you all individually, all of you will have your unique protocol number. So when someone uses internet, they are actually generating, they are actually connecting through the internet through this IP address, this unique IP addresses. Okay, so how does it look? It will the IP address actually looks like this: 172.16.254.1. So it has 4 parts, and all the 4 parts are divided through dots. And also these IP addresses has each computer devices also has IP addresses, and it is not actually easy to remember all the IP addresses. So instead of IP addresses, against all these IP addresses, some names are given, because we can easily remember name. Just like in our phone, we cannot remember all the phone numbers that are in our mobile phone, but we can easily remember their names. So whenever we want to call someone, we will search their name, right? But if we have to only remember name, only number, then it would be maybe very difficult to remember all the numbers. So in the same way, IP addresses, it is not easy to remember all the IP addresses, so we use names, that is domain names. Then next term is TCP/IP. So TCP/IP is TCP full form is Transmission Control Protocol, and IP is Internet Protocol. So all the computers in internet communicate with each other through this TCP/IP, which is the basic protocol, means the main set of rules for connecting or for communicating from one computer to another. We need this TCP/IP. So it also manages the transmission of data, file or document. There are other protocols also later you will get, that is FTP, that is File Transfer Protocol, or HTTP, which you already got, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. These are all different protocols, and their tasks are different. So internet, in internet, this TCP/IP, what they do, they break the data into small pieces, and these small pieces are also known as packets or datagrams. So this is how it will look. Suppose host P is sender and host Q is the receiver. So what will happen? First, host P will send a signal, that is synchronized signal, which will be received by host Q. This is before actually sending a message. Our connection is established. Okay, so which will be received by host Q, that it has received that synchronized SYN. Then again host Q will reply to host P that it has received the signal by sequence Y. So when this acknowledge is received by host P, then host P will send a, again it will send one acknowledge to host Q that it has received this sequence. Then a secured connection is established. Then after that the messages are actually sent. So these are actually not in your book, just for the information I've given, how you have been using your mobile phones, your computer for sending messages. So this is how actually in the background such type of things actually happens in a network. So if you go for higher study later in colleges, you will learn about them. Okay, so HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. HTTP was actually termed by Tim Berners-Lee in the year 1989, and it is an application layer protocol for transmitting hypermedia documents such as HTML. So whenever you are using a browser to browse through different websites, so you are using this HTTP protocol. It was designed for communication between web browsers and web server. So already you have got about browsers, web browsers and web servers. So what happened through browser, if you are typing any website name and pressing the enter, then the browser is actually connecting a server. It is actually establishing a connection with the server through your browser. So that connection is established through this protocol, that is HTTP. Okay, so next HTTPS. HTTP and HTTPS, the only difference is that HTTPS is for secure transfer. So whenever you are using internet, always be sure that you are typing HTTPS or it is already written like HTTPS. If HTTPS is there, you can be sure that the that network or that server is secured and you can easily use. So this is an example. HTTP, you can see what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. Suppose you are using a website called example.com and you have entered the password ABC123. So any hackers, they can easily read your password because the password is not encrypted. But if you use HTTPS, then what will happen? Your password, that is ABC123, will be encrypted in a form that hackers cannot easily read your password. So to protect your computer from different type of attacks or from hackers, it is always suggested that you always use a HTTPS while using any internet, any website. So that will be enough for today, I think. So thank you, and if you have any question, you can ask me in the group. Okay, thank you.